Thomas here and welcome back to another video. So today's video is presented by EA Game Changers, as today we're going to go ahead and do another video with the Sims 4 Tiny Living. So thank you to them for providing me with an early access code of the pack to go ahead and do this video today. So today we're going to go ahead and build these stacked tiny homes, and this is a tiny home residential lot. I know I did do a kind of multiple homes on one lot type of builds just before this video, and that one was actually just a residential lot because I had to make a lot more tiles, so I couldn't actually class it as a tiny home residential build, but this one is. So if you want to go ahead and download it for yourself, it will be up soon. It'll be up on Tuesday when the pack actually comes out, probably around like 10 or 11 AM Pacific Standard Time. So my origin ID is RealThomasTV1, and I'll come back here and leave a link in the description to the online gallery if you want to go ahead and download the build that way. So this idea I have had for a little while. I kind of really just had the idea to do something with train tools along with tiny homes, and I actually was looking for inspiration, and I saw kind of like those shipping container types of homes, and that's kind of what inspired this a bit. But I wanted to do something a little bit more on the modern side, so that's what we're doing here. I did also actually see a work in progress picture from my friend Grumpy Lynn Sims, who is also building kind of something similar to this, having like tiny homes within train tools. So like I said, this is an early access video, so I'm not too sure what the finished product of her build is like, but make sure to go ahead and check out her channel so you can go ahead and see that build, because she does create some really creative things in The Sims 4. So like I said, I did go ahead and do a modern style build. It is quite like neutral as well, not neutral in terms of like white trims and stuff. I actually went and did like darker colour schemes, but still neutral. So I went for like black trims and darker wall coverings. I actually used the ones from Fitness Stuff here, and I wasn't actually too sure where to build this. Originally I was going to build it in Strangerville, because I haven't built there in a long time, and also I just kind of thought that this was an odd kind of build as well. Kind of when I was thinking of where to place this, I was kind of just looking at the world map menu for like a couple of minutes, just looking at each icon of the world, thinking, where on earth is this going to be placed? Del Sol Valley, originally I was thinking about that as well, kind of thinking like, you know, actors who don't really have much money and are trying to make it to the top of their careers and move up to the pinnacles, and the lot will be placed on the big 50 by 40 one in Mirage Park, is it? They're like the lower end of Del Sol Valley, but that area was just quite flat, so I wanted something that had a bit more terrain around it, and this lot in Oasis Springs worked well. So like I was saying, you know, Strangerville was going to be another option, but I ended up preferring this lot. And also I'm not too sure, I think Lynn built hers on a Oasis Springs lot as well. So in terms of details of this build, like I said, it is 3 homes on one lot. It's a 40 by 30 lot, and it is where what's his name again? I've literally forgotten. The land grab, what's his name? I've forgotten his first name. Where he lives in the trailer in the back of Oasis Springs. Whatever his first name is, land grab's home. It's on his lot. And it came in at 89,694 simoleons. And in terms of what packs used today, I did use a fair few in terms of expansions, not so much of the others. But all of the packs I'm going to mention in a second, I didn't really use kind of a lot of them. Like I didn't really go too overkill with the items from each one. So each pack is kind of used quite minimally, if that makes sense. Of course, Tiny Living is the pack I use the most. But anyway, so for the expansions, I used Discover University, Seasons, Cats and Dogs, City Living and Get Together. For the game packs, I just use Parenthood, and for the stuff packs, I use Tiny Living, of course, and also Fitness Stuff for the wallpapers on the exterior. So, you know, a fair few packs, but if you don't have any of those, then it might be a good idea to look on the gallery at the packs used, because if you click on them it tells you what actual items are used, and then you can kind of maybe change things up a little bit to fit what packs you have. And also this build in total I think took me about, say, 30 or 40 minutes, which is no time at all, but the actual interiors were very small today, that's why it didn't take too long. It was actually just kind of fiddling around with the train, I think took the most time, and also this bit now which we're going on to, which is landscaping. So to begin with, I'm just going around here trying to find some areas to put in the train paint, and then I go back through and add in all the landscaping. Sometimes what I do when it comes to doing builds here in Oasis Springs, I always end up going for the island living plants and things, because I do have, you know, palm plants and stuff which sort of fit in, but you know, it sort of doesn't fit in at the same time. So I use a lot of base game items today, like the cactuses and things like that. I do use the island living plants a lot in Oasis Springs, but it's actually more on the grass lots of this world, not the sand lots like this one, if that makes sense. And also the trees as well. I did have a bit of kind of trouble deciding on which ones I was going to use. There is the one from base game which I used I can't remember the name of it, which, you know, obviously fits into Oasis Springs, but I also used the American beech tree as well, which looking back sounds a little bit odd having it here, but we can just imagine that they've been imported and replaced here or something like that. Anyway, so I don't know if I mentioned, but I didn't really go too personalised within the homes today. I did go for different colour schemes between each home, like on the interior slightly, but I did keep it fairly neutral today. I didn't really have any plans for what type of family would live here or set of Sims, because it's a little bit odd really, because it's like different types of Sims would live here in each of the homes. Now, saying that, you could actually use the roommate system from Discovery University to make this work a little bit better, and kind of have different, you know, Sims living in each one if you want to make that work. So because it's like 3 separate homes that are kind of different in their own ways, I didn't really want to put like a family or anything in here. So I just left it up to you really. So now we're just working on the first home. Like I said, I did go modern on the exterior, and I'm also doing fairly modern on the interior. It's not like ultra modern or anything, but it is, you know, fairly updated, kind of IKEA style. And I think that's also what I associate with the items from this new pack as well, is an IKEA style, which I think is great. I love it. Similar to some of the Discovery University items, like the bookcase as well. Kind of reminds me of that and pairs well together with this pack actually. Also, I don't know if anybody thought this, but does anybody think that the sink that we got with this pack is similar to the one with Get Famous? Not that it's like a bad thing, like they're copying the item or something, but just when I first saw that in the trailer, I was like, oh, is that from Get Famous? But no, it's actually really similar. Anyway, so we're just working again, like I said, on this first home. Now, all of these homes are so small to the point where they don't have their own bedrooms, which is fine. They're kind of just more studio-style homes. So I did just go ahead and use the Murphy bed, and kind of had that in the open area, which is fine. I did also the tiny home community build that I did before this. Also, a lot of those homes were too small to have their own bedroom, which, you know, it's tiny homes after all, so I think it's all right. Now, the bathrooms here I did have a bit of trouble with, because as you can see, they're only 2x2, which is normally quite problematic with bathrooms. It's always best to have one extra tile than that, at least. But I did make it work with the wall shower from Discovery University. I haven't actually had a chance to playtest this build yet, but it did look like it would work, so I'm hoping I'm right in that, because now we can make 2x2 bathrooms without having to worry about Sims not being able to root through it or anything. And this home right here also had a little balcony area on the front. The rest of the homes don't have an entranceway like this. It's just the stairs going up the side of the build, and they don't really have an outdoor area, but, you know, you could probably add one in. There's still some space at the back, which could maybe add like a communal area, so if you want to do that, then feel free. Also, when I was just talking about that other build I did, the tiny home community one before this, in that build I did go over all my opinions and thoughts of this new stuff pack, so if you want to hear that, then that's all in that video, just to let you know. And I'm also doing a tiny living giveaway as well for the pack, so you can go ahead and enter that. Again, there's a quick little video on the channel where you go ahead and enter within that video as well in the comment section, so that video explains all that. And yes, so I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up here. I've got like a minute or so left before we head on to the screenshots. You can go ahead and download this build from the gallery. Like I said, it will be up in a few days time, but come back here and there'll be a link in the description to the online gallery, and my origin ID is RealThomasTV1. Also, let me know if you do have any other ideas that you want to see with this pack, or anything in general that you want to see on the channel next. That'd be really helpful to hear. Leave a like, share and subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.